This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama, cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by professional poker player Mr. Robert Williamson III. This week, the HPT's on the road here at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room.
Exciting times, James. We built a big prize pool this week. 389 entries, over $575,000 in the prize pool.
We've had sunshine all week, palm trees, and a whole lot of poker action. So with no further ado, let's get started. First place money, a whole lot of cash tonight here on the HPT, $131,720.
At the top of our chip leaderboard, Corey Thompson with almost $2.5 million. Tom and Georgie, though, right behind.
9 players remain here at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. We started with 389 entries, and like I said, we're down to our final 9. Robbie, let's play some poker. Blinds will be $15,000, $30,000 with a 4K ante. So glad you joined us tonight here on the HPT. Action will start with Plumman. He's going to fold, as does Corey T. Now we're over to Steve. Steve gets out of the way. Addy looks down at 9-8, and he's going to fold, as does the 9 seat of Andrew. Now over to Corey Z. We've got a Corey Z and a Corey T at the table. It might be a little confusing, Robbie.
Also a little rhyming as well, James.
Action now on Matt Bond. He's on the button, looks down at ace-queen.
Definitely a playable hand from any position, but he's also in late position.
He's going to raise to $65,000. And now Tommy looks down at queen-10. He's going to fold. Over to David, who looks down at king-jack. David's in the big blind. It looks like he's going to defend that big blind. Talking about Matt Bond, he's on a little bit of what I call a Texas heater. His 3rd final table in a row here on the HPT.
No easy feat to do, that's for sure.
And the flop is king-8 tray, couple of hearts.
Well, David's going to like this flop. He flops top pair. Matt's, he's probably feels like he's going to have to do a continuation bet, but no, he decides to check instead.
Both players check. We go to the turn card. It's the 6 of clubs.
Well, David might have solicited a bet here.
David reaching for chips. He's going to bet $75,000.
Only problem, since David did check that flop, Matt doesn't know that ace-queen high isn't the best hand. He might have to make this call.
First hand of the night here on the HBT, broadcasting from the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. And Matt is going to make the call, a pot of over 300,000 chips.
Still heads up here to the river. Let's see the river card.
And the river card is the ace of hearts, so good news for Matt Bond.
You know, sometimes you make the right play to begin with, and it works out like this, James. Now, let's see if Matt can go to Value Town and maximize this.
Matt's 28 years old, professional poker player from Dallas, Texas. Reaching for chips, he's going to bet $110,000.
Well, I probably would have bet a little bit more. I think he's going to get paid off for sure, though, at this bet size.
And David is going to make the call. He's going to see the bad news. And the winner of the hand is Matt Bond, the 28-year-old from Dallas, Texas, making his 3rd final table in a row. Matt Bond laughing all the way to the bank, hoping to make a deposit of almost $132,000 in cash tonight, because that is what first place money is here at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room.
Tommy's going to be first to act in the 3 seat. David folds over to Plumman in the 5 seat.
Action is folded around to Plumman. He's going to get out of the way. Now action over to the first Corey. Corey T looks down at Jack-8. He's going to fold. Now over to Miami. Steve looks down at the HPT special, the King-Queen suited in spades.
We sure see that hand played a lot here at the HPT.
Steve Karp is 37 years old. He's good buddies with the Massey brothers. They're in the audience cheering him on. Folded around now to the 9 seat. That's a fold. Now over to the other Corey. Corey Z. He looks down at ace-king suited in hearts, Robert.
Well, you got to love that hand. Big slick. We'll definitely see at least a call. We might see a raise here, too.
Corey told us before we started this final table he's trying to relax. He didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and that happens a lot here on the HPT because it's a marathon session. Then you got to get up, do your interviews, and then come here and battle this final table and hopefully go home with the unreal cash. It's a 3-bet now to $156,000 with the ace-king.
You know, I like that re-raise there by Corey Z. It kind of helps you define where you're at in this hand, even though he is out of position. So, you know, sometimes danger, Will Robinson, you have to be careful when you're out of position.
Now action over to Steve. As you see, $91,000 for him to make the call. And he's going to go ahead and lay that hand down. So the winner is Corey Z. And we had a chance to talk to him before the final table.
Yeah, I called him all. So day one, long day, got really lucky to bag up a decent stack. And then day two was up and down, and right before the bubble, took a huge hit, really stressed about whether I was even going to cash. Lucky to scoot in, and then had a really good finish to day two and just chipped right up.
And Corey Thompson still the chip leader at the moment, but sneaking into second place is Plumman. Tommy Georgie right behind in third.
And Steve Karp only 11 big blinds. So Robbie, he's got to make some magic here.
He's going to have to make a move and make a move quick, James.
Action continues here. Tommy looks down at King Jack. He's going to fold, as does David. Now over to Plumman. He's going to get out of the way. Now action on Corey T with my favorite pocket pair. When it's not aces, I like to look down at 2 red 9s.
You love those. You tell me you flop more sets than anybody ever.
Barbara Feldman, 99. You remember Get Smart. Action on Corey T. He's going to raise it to $69,000. Steve's going to get out of the way. Steve's just waiting for that opportunity to get his chips in the middle for a double up. Now Adi's got a suited King 10.
He's taking a long time to think with a King 10 suited, James. I don't know if I'd play it personally.
Adi's 33 years old from Cambridge, Massachusetts. He's got over $1.4 million in cashes, and he's going to make this call. Now action over to the 1 seat. Corey's going to release his hand, as does Matt Bond.
Well, the one saving grace for Adi is he is in position here.
It's Adi and Corey T. The flop is ace, 7, deuce, rainbow.
Not a great flop for either of these two hands, but Corey's got to lead into this as if he does have the ace.
Corey's going to bet 68,000 chips. Action back over to Adi. He's got the shades on. He's got the hood up. He's all business, Robbie.
Well, we'll see.
Adi got 19th place last month at our Kansas City event. He's going to go ahead and make this call here, Robert.
Well, he's floating on this one. Definitely in position to float.
Turn card now is the 7 of hearts. Action once again. We'll start with Corey.
I think we'll see a check out of Corey, and we did.
Corey checks. Now action over to Adi. A pot of over 350,000 chips. Now Adi is reaching for chips here. He's going to make a bet. And it's 175,000.
This is a tough spot for Corey T. This is a hard place to make this call. Adi played this hand really, really well. But Corey is reaching a non-believer. He decided to make the call.
Wow, what a call that is.
That's a tough call.
It sure is. You know, those 9s really shrink when you see the 7s and the ace out there. The river card is the 6 of diamonds. Corey's going to check. Action on Adi. And Adi's got to make a bet here, Robert.
Well, you know, he actually has showdown value. I believe I would just check down this king high if I were Adi.
He's reaching for chips. Looks like he is going to make a wager. And the bet is 325,000.
Well, this is a really tough decision for Corey T.
Yeah, look at the look on his face. He's like, you know, he can't figure this hand out, Robert.
Well, this is just one of those hands when your opponent really played it complicated. I mean, he made a strong bet here on the river. I don't know if I'm Corey, if I can make this call or not. It's a really tough. It's almost a hero call because really you only beat king high.
Yeah, the way the hand played out, Corey's just running it through his head going, what could you possibly have here?
Well, if anything else, Adi flat calling on the flop would be the only reason why Corey would. Nope, he decided to fold anyway.
Wow, Corey is going to fold, and Adi's going to win the hand. Got to give him props there. He played it perfectly, I guess, Robert. Well, he won the pot, right?
I mean, he practically three-barreled it. I mean, on a pure bluff.
The winner of the hand is Adi, the 33-year-old from Cambridge, Massachusetts. The action continues here from the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. I'm James Larson, joined by professional poker player Mr. Robert Williamson III. We're so glad you joined us tonight right here on the HPT. Action is folded to Plumman. Haven't seen Plumman play a hand yet. We're not going to see one this particular hand either. He gets out of the way. Steve Karp, he's out of the way. Adi's going to lay his hand down. Now action on the 9th seat. With Jack 10 there, it was a little surprised Andrew didn't play that.
Yeah, I probably would have opened the pot in that position.
Now over to the 1 seat of Corey Z. It's his first HPT cash. He's going to fold. Matt's now going to raise to 100,000 in the small blind with his Jack 6.
A lot of times this is a good spot to do that, try to steal the blinds from the big blind. But I played a lot of poker with Tommy Georgie, and I can tell you, he knows how to make these tough calls, and he calls Matt Bond down.
Tommy's going to make the call, so it's a battle of the blinds, and we go to the flop. And the flop is 7-5 tray rainbow.
Well, a little something for both of them. A gut shot for Matt, backdoor flush draw, but Tommy flop middle pair. I think he's going to like this flop. Feels like a good flop for Tommy's hand.
Matt bets 105,000. Action over to Tommy. Tommy just looks like one of those likable guys. He looks like he'd be fun to play poker with, Robbie, and you would know.
He is a nice guy. You know what they say about nice guys?
Turn card now is the Jack of Hearts, so that improves Matt Bond's hand.
Well, that's a bad card for Tommy, but a great card for Matt. Let's see him bet this value.
It's a bet of 170,000. Tommy with just his fives here in this situation.
Well, it's going to be hard to believe that Matt hit a jack on the turn. I don't know. I'm probably going to have to call this bet and see what happens on the river if I'm Tommy.
Pot of over 600,000 chips. A lot of cash on the line here on the HPT. First place, almost 132,000. All the players right now guaranteed 9th place money, $12,829.
Oh, wow.
And Tommy is going to release his hand, and the winner is Matt Bond. Now, Robbie, Matt Bond is no stranger to the HPT final table. He's on a streak, and we talked about that earlier today.
Well, this is my 3rd final table in a row, so I guess I'm not a rookie to the cameras and lights anymore. That is definitely an aspect that took a lot of getting used to at first. I mean, it's so much different than with having everyone looking at you. So there's definitely a little bit of stress, a little bit of pressure that goes with it, but now it just feels normal now. Like I'm eager to get to this point. Like I want to get to this point. Like this is where all the fun is.
And James, we have a new chip leader. Well, Plumman's up top, but it's because he hasn't played a hand. Corey Thompson's still hanging in there tough, and Adi and Tommy rounding out the top 4.
And the action continues here on the HPT. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III. Great to be back here in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. Folded around now to Tommy. Looks down at ace-queen.
I think we're definitely going to see a pot opening raise here.
Tommy Georgie's going to raise it to 90,000. David gets out of the way. Now over to our chip leader, Plumman, who, like you said just a second ago, kind of backdoored his way into our chip lead, Robert.
You know, sometimes it's a war of attrition.
Folded around now to Adi. Adi looks down at King Deuce, a Reggie King Deuce. He releases his hand now over to the 9 seat of Andrew. Looks down at Ace King, and I think it's time for Andrew to probably get all his chips in the middle. And he's going to do just that, a 3-bet with his Ace King. Action back to Tommy Georgie. And he's probably going to make this call, and it's just not a good spot for him. Ran his Ace-Queen right into Ace-King, Robert.
Yep, and that happens in this situation. It's hand versus hand, and now Tommy's just got to hope to get lucky. But I'll tell you what, Andrew's the one that's all in. He's the one that really needs this pot.
Andrew's got the best of it so far. We go to the flop. And the flop is 9-7 deuce, couple of clubs. So far, so good for Andrew.
Well, Tommy either needs a queen or running clubs.
Andrew's 33 years old from Destin, Florida, over $187,000 in lifetime earnings. The 5 of spades now comes on the turn.
Well, now Andrew only has to dodge a queen, James.
One street to go. Andrew looking for a double up here to keep his tournament hopes alive. Oh, and on the river, the queen of spades, ladies and gentlemen. And just like that, Andrew's out of here.
Well, he does get a nice consolation prize, James. A little over $12,000 to take home with him.
So bad news for Andrew, but great news for Tommy and the rest of these players is now just 8 remain. They all want to be our next HPT champion, go home with the bracelet, the title, and almost $132,000 in cash. And look at Tommy, he's still smiling.
I don't blame him. If I sucked out like he just did, I would be too.
Fold it around to David, and he's going to get all his chips in the middle with ace-7 of diamonds.
And David's our short stack right now. He didn't have a lot of choices here. Any ace, I'd probably, in decent position, I would have definitely opened up the pot.
Fold it around to Adi. Now he's asking Corey how much he started the hand with. Why would he do that, Robert?
Well, he's trying to check out what he has acting behind him still before he makes this call, and he decides to go all in also.
Adi is all in. Now over to Corey. Corey's going to fold, and we're going to flip over the cards, and David's going to see, for now anyways, he's in the lead. Ace-7 going up against King-Queen.
Well, a very tentative lead. Adi with 2 live cards, and David with the overcard.
David is at risk. We go to the flop, and the flop is 2 4s and a 5, so the ace-7 still in the lead.
That's a great flop for David. Remember, David is the one that's all in right now. He needs to dodge a king or a queen.
We go to that turn card now, and the turn card is the deuce of spades.
Oh, it's another good card for him. All he's got to dodge is a king and a queen.
David trying to double up here at this HPT final table. Looks very calm and cool. Looks relaxed. We go to the river card, and it's the 5 of diamonds. So 2 pair, 5s and 4s with the ace. David's going to win the hand and double up.
Crazy rivers. I thought I was going to get river for sure. Yeah. I was afraid of the river. I was afraid of the river, man. Oh, that would have been a crazy river. Yeah, right there.
You would have obviously taken it.
I didn't think about your hand.
It's good to see the table talk, Robbie. Everybody's getting along. They're going to be Facebook friends by the end of the show.
Well, they might even trade numbers. Who knows?
All right, action over to Tommy Georgie. He's going to fold, as does David. Now over to Plumman. Haven't seen anything out of Plumman at this final table, but that's all right. As we know, these things are marathons. We know it's not a sprint. He's just waiting for the opportunity to get some chips in the middle.
Well, I like to say the tortoise wins the race, not the hare.
Action folded around now to Corey in the 1 seat. Looks down at Jack-10. He's in the small blind.
Well, with everybody folded around to me, I'm definitely going to open the pot there. But he's got to be a little careful because Matt Bond's a really good player and has position on him, too.
And Matt Bond's on a little bit of a heater. His 3rd final table, and we saw him catch that ace. We saw him catch that jack on the turn. So he's playing well, but he's running well. 2 things that are very important.
A deadly combination, James.
All right, we go to the flop. Battle of the blinds, and the flop is ace-king-8 rainbow.
Well, a gut shot for Corey, but not much. Matt flopping 2nd pair.
And Corey is going to bet $95,000 over now to Matt.
Well, that's the only problem about trying to raise and steal the blinds right there. Corey's kind of got committed to that continuation bet. I think it's like one of the overused plays in poker nowadays, James.
And Matt is going to make the call. So now we go to the turn card. And the turn card is the 9 of hearts.
Not a bad card, actually, for Corey Z. Gives him some more outs. Now a 7 also makes him a straight. He's checking to see if he can get a free card here from Matt. And I suspect if I was Matt, I'd probably check behind him, too.
Kind of a half stare down. Corey Z was staring. Now Matt's staring. They haven't made eye contact yet. They both check, and we go to the river. And it's another 9, this time the 9 of clubs.
Well, that might actually encourage Corey Z to make a stab at this and try to steal this pot. No, he decides to surrender the ghost. Surely Matt's not going to try to value bet this now.
Matt with the best of it. As you can see, his two pair, kings and nines. We'll see what he decides to do. He is going to check. They're going to flip over the cards. And once again, the winner is Matt Bond. Can Matt keep his hot streak going to win the bracelet? Come back to find out right here on the HPT. Welcome back to the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. Robbie, who do you like?
Have to go with the chip leader right now. Corey Thompson's playing great and stacking those chips up.
But it's poker, so we know anything can happen.
And our chip counts look like this. Corey Thompson back on top of the leaderboard. Tommy Georgie not far behind. Matt Bond making his way up the leaderboard.
Blinds remain at 20,000, 40,000. And Robbie, we just haven't seen anybody really break away from the pack yet.
You know, sometimes it's like that, though, James. It takes a while. It's a war of attrition, like I said earlier.
Corey T folds. Now action over to Steve. Steve's going to get out of the way. Now over to Adi. Looks down at Queen Deuce. Haven't really seen any action cards yet. One seat's going to fold. That's Corey Z. And speaking of action cards, there's a couple of them right there, my friend.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, Matt truly is on a heater. And it helps when you're playing a lot of hands and mixing it up, and you wake up with a big hand. Sometimes you get paid off with these big hands that way. Looks like you're playing too many hands.
Tommy's going to get out of the way. Now action over to David. Looks down at Queen Jack, suited in hearts. Recently doubled up just a few hands ago. He's probably going to enter this pot, Robert. The raise for him now to make this call is another 70,000.
Wow.
It's a 3-bet shove now with his Queen Jack.
You know, it's going to be a pretty bad stumble for David because Matt's probably going to insta-call here.
David has that easy button. We haven't seen him use that easy button yet, and I don't think he's going to use it on this hand. So it's folded around, and Matt's going to make the call. It's kings versus Queen Jack of hearts.
Jack of hearts.
David's got to improve, or he's going to go out in 8th place. The flop is ace, king, queen.
Well, the good news, bad news is at least a 10 gets David out of the trap. Running queens would as well, but, you know, running queens is pretty hard to do.
Once again, Matt just running super hot here. Flops a set.
Running card 0 or 10. Let's see the turn card.
We go to the turn card now. It's the 4 of clubs.
And now only a 10 can save David's day.
David standing up. We go to the river card now. No 10. It's the deuce of spades. So that is going to do it. And David leaves us in 8th place with $15,177. Tatiana is with David downstairs.
David, not a bad payday today.
Yeah, not too bad.
Are you disappointed or happy?
A little bit disappointed, but I'm all right.
Would you have played anything differently today?
Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 hands would have played a little differently, but.
We are here, and you have $15,000.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for it?
Not yet.
You didn't sit there at the final table thinking, oh, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that.
Nah, I thought I was gonna win, so I'm just gonna play some more poker tournaments.
And then we'll see you next time, and you're gonna win the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, and back to you, James.
Thanks so much, Tatiana. We are down to our final 7 players. They all want to be our next HPT champion, Robert. And up top tonight, almost $132,000 in cash.
That's 132,000 reasons to want to win this, James. I mean, I can't blame them at all.
Action now on Corey T. Looks down at 10-6 of hearts. 40,000 for him to make the call. And it looks like, Robert, he's reaching for some raising chips. He's going to raise it to 90,000.
Well, this is one of those times you just try to steal the blinds. He was in late position, came in with the raise, plays the hand strong. I can't say that I blame him.
Steve gets out of the way. Now over to Adi. And Adi with 5-4 of clubs.
Well, speculative hand, but, you know, sometimes you can catch those kind of flops.
He's going to make this call. And now over to Corey Z on the button. He's got ace-8 of spades.
Well, this would be a real simple call or raise for me. I just don't believe. Wow, he decides to fold a little tightish up there on that fold.
Matt Bond's going to get out of the way. Now over to Tommy. Looks down at 9 Trey. And Tommy is going to fold his hand. So heads up now. A couple of the best hands here. 10-6 going up against 5-4. And the flop is ace, queen, 10, couple of clubs.
Well, they both caught a piece. Flush draw for Adi. And bottom pair, but still a pair. And in the lead for Corey.
We remember Corey Z in the 1 seat folded his ace-8 of spades. He would have liked that flop. And now it goes check by Corey T over to Adi. And Adi's going to check back, so both players check.
Kind of surprised to check there from Adi.
Turn card now, the 8 of diamonds. I don't want to keep bringing up Corey Z's hand, but now he'd make 2 pair if he would have made that call. Action on Corey T.
I don't blame Corey T. I'd probably take a stab at this pot right here.
He's got the best of it right now, pairing his 10. He's going to make a bet of $135,000. Now, Adi making the call here. And the river card is the 10 of spades, so three of a kind now for Corey. Adi, I guess, hanging around for the flush draw there, Robbie, with his 5-4 clubs?
Yeah, I don't blame him, but I think I would have preferred to play the hand stronger and lead that flop versus just calling on the turn.
Now a pot of 545,000 chips. Corey T with 3 of a kind here.
The only way Corey can get a call is if Adi goes crazy and tries to bluff him off this hand. I don't think we're going to see that, and I suspect we're going to see Corey take down a nice pot here.
The bet is 345,000. Adi doesn't look happy at all.
Well, he's got 5 high. I wouldn't be happy either.
He's wearing his Think Bink jacket. They're all thinking Bink this week, right here in Daytona at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. Now, this isn't Hollywooding by any means. He's just taking the necessary time. He's not just going to insta-fold here. He's going to take his time and put his cards into the muck. Adi folds, and Corey takes down a pot worth almost 1,000,000 chips. And now, Robert, Corey is our chip leader. We'll be back with more from the HPT right here at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room right after this. The Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room is owned by Delaware North, and Robert, they're celebrating 100 years, and they do an annual food and can drive. And this year, the company raised over 100,000 cans of food. Here locally, almost 3,000 cans were brought in. We had live entertainment, and we had the cash machine.
Oh my gosh, that's my partner James Larson in there.
And you know what? My hair never got messed up. That's some pretty strong holding gel, but we gave all that cash back, and it's a great charity that the Delaware North Company works with, and we were glad to be a part of it.
Back to our chip leaderboard. Corey Thompson sitting on top and increasing his chip lead. Matt and Thomas right behind.
Now we got to talk about Steve Karp. This guy hasn't played a hand either, and look at his chip stack there, Robbie. Not too many chips left. What does he have, 5, 6 big blinds?
He's dwindled down and dwindled down. He's going to have to find a bus pretty soon and hop aboard.
They call him Miami Steve. He folds now over to Adi. Looks down at ace-8. You know, think about this, though. We've already lost 2 players, so Steve just hanging around here has already jumped up the cash spot a couple times.
Yeah, sometimes it's about moving up into the higher paying cash slots, and you know, something to be said about that.
The gambler's gamble. He'll stay out of the way. It's folded around now to Bond, Matt Bond. He releases his hand over to Tommy Georgie. Looks down at Queen 4. He's going to fold. Now over to Plumman. Plumman may play his first hand right here on national television. Is it going to happen? Probably not with the 7 deuce. Plumman folds. Now action over to Corey T. Looks down at another great hand here. Ace, Queen of Diamonds. Corey T., as we told you before the commercial break, is now our chip leader. And he's just going to make the call here.
You know, he's out of position, so I can't say that I blame him, fault him either way. I probably would have re-raised myself there just to find out where I was.
And the flop is King,
look at this flop.
Jack 10. Wow, that's the works there for Corey T.
You don't absolutely flop the absolute nuts all the time, and Corey can really play this hand a number of ways, and he tries to trick him by trapping him, checks that flop. I don't blame him. I would have too.
I like the way he's playing it so far. Checks it over to Adi. Adi reaching for chips, has no idea his opponent just flopped the nuts.
Heck, in this situation, I might even check this sucker to him twice. I might not even raise here on this flop.
The bet is 90,000. And now Corey trying to look a little surprised. You know, this is a fun game to play here. When you're holding the nuts, Robert, all you got to do is make the call, maybe kind of roll your eyes a little bit. And now we go to the turn card. And it's the 9 of spades.
Third card is the 9 of spades.
Well, that actually gives Adi a lower straight draw. Now a 7 gives him a straight also. Queen will give him a tie with Corey T. Let's see if Corey T decides to lead at this pot.
I like it. He's going to check again. Let Adi do all the work, but Adi's going to check back.
All players check the turn card.
So now we go to the river card, and the river card is the 5 of clubs.
River card is the 5 of clubs.
Well, now Corey T's got to bet his own hand. He don't think he can get paid off. Why he decides to check it again?
It goes check, check, and Corey wanted to see a bet there out of Adi, but it just didn't work out.
Well, Adi's been playing very aggressive, so not a bad spot to check. I would have preferred a bet, but either way, he's not going to get a payday, but he's still taking down a nice pot, James.
You are watching exclusive final table coverage of the HPT as we broadcast from the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. We started with 389 entries, and now we are down to our final 7 players. One player will go home with the title, the bragging rights, the bracelet, and almost $132,000 in ice-cold hard cash, unless, of course, they take it in a check form. They've got that option.
Yes. I think they might wire the money sometimes, too.
I would take enough money for you and me to have just a big steak down here in Daytona Beach.
Woo.
Fold it around now to Matt Bond. Looks down at another decent hand here. King Jack.
Access to Matt in the 2 seat.
Yeah, Robert, getting back to the money, just so much on the line here. Now Tommy looks down at Ace King.
110,000.
Yeah, since I've got position on Matt here, I'm going to go ahead and re-raise pre-flop. I like to go ahead and kind of define the hand ranges, and plus I know I'm going to have position on him the rest of this hand.
Tommy taking his time here with this decision.
The only caveat being, Matt Bond is a really strong player too, but I still like a raise here from Tommy.
Tommy Georgie is a professional poker player from Messina, New York, and he's going to re-raise to $260,000.
Gonna re-raise.
Yeah, it might be a little smallish re-raise. Sometimes when you make a smallish re-raise, you get called.
All right, will this be the hand Plumman plays? He looks down at a 7 and a 9. He's going to get out of the way, as does Corey T.
Back to Matt.
So action back to Matt now.
Is the total bet.
Well, Matt's got enough chips to play this pot if he wants to make this call.
Matt's got over $500,000 in earnings. He's 95th all-time on the Texas money list. I didn't see your name on there. I thought you were from Texas. You're listed under Nevada in the Handed Mob results.
Oh boy, they got the wrong guy.
Matt is now going to re-raise to $570,000.
And the 2 seat's gonna re-raise here.
Well, if I'm Tommy here, I've got to shove. I want to see all 5 cards. I'm just going to go all in and try to put the maximum pressure on Matt.
Tommy told us before the final table his plans for the cash. He's going to squander it. A man after my own heart, buddy. And yeah, I think this is going to be an all-in for Tommy Georgie. It's his second HPT cash. It was just 2 years and 2 days ago that he finished 3rd right here at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. So he's no stranger to this final table.
Well, he just decides to flat call here. I don't like that play at all, James. Not going to lie to you.
Just going to make the call. And look at this flop. King, Jack 10, couple of hearts.
Well, this is what I call a cooler hand. Sometimes you have a big hand and it's just not enough. Tommy flopping top pair, top kicker. Matt flopping top 2 pair.
And Matt is going to be first, and he's reaching for chips. Matt loves every second of this. He's going to make a bet of $390,000. I have a feeling all these chips are going to get in the middle, Robert.
Here's the problem. If Tommy had just moved all in pre-flop, he might have taken the pot down right there.
He might have.
Now
he might have.
He's in jeopardy of getting knocked out of this tournament.
Tommy's all in, and a snap call by Matt, and Tommy sees the terrible news here as his opponent flopped 2 pair, kings and jacks.
Well, he needs an ace or a queen,
Let's see the turn card.
or we're going to see Goodnight Irene.
Turn card is
Turn card now is the Trey of Clubs.
pair of kings.
Once again, Tommy's the one that's all in. He needs an ace or a queen, or he's going to be out.
And the river card is another 3, this time the 3 of diamonds.
Well, I think Tommy's going to look back at that one and wish he had pushed pre-flop. At least give himself a chance to have taken that down pre-flop.
Tommy leaves us in 7th place with $18,327, and we'll be back with more action. All right, the chip counts. Matt Bond up top with almost $4.3 million. Right behind him, Corey T. and Plumman, who hasn't played a hand yet, but he's still third in chips.
Tell you what, Matt Bond's been the story. He has played a lot of hands. He's read really well. So far, so good for Matt Bond.
And look at this, pocket queens for Matt Bond. Just everything just going this kid's way.
Well, this will be one of the first hands he's played where he's actually been in the lead, most likely. Of course, unless somebody wakes up with aces or kings, James, he might actually start this hand ahead.
Plumman and Corey T get out of the way, as does Steve.
Steve folds over to Adi in the small blind.
As does Adi. Now action over to Corey. Looks down at Jack 7 of clubs. He's in the big blind. We'll see if he defends. The raise was to 110,000, so just 60,000 chips for Corey Z to make the call. There's that half a stare down. He kind of peeks, Matt Bond does, out of the side of his eyes there, and he's going to make the call here with Jack 7 in the big blind.
He's got to be a little worried because Matt opened this under the gun. That's the new button I say these days. They do that a lot.
Look at this flop.
Wow.
Jack 9-8, couple of clubs. Look at that flop for Corey Z. He's got the club draw, he's got the jacks, and he's got the straight draw.
And Matt's also got a straight draw with an overpair. We could see fireworks here, James.
Corey Z is going to check. Matt bets 115,000. Look at Corey Z. Inside, he's smiling from ear to ear. He loves this situation. Even though right now, he's not in the lead in the hand. The queen's still best.
Well, as you can see from the graphics, he is almost 50-50. It's a coin flip here. I think if I'm Corey Z, I'm going to play this really aggressively.
Corey says all in out of the 1 seat. And Matt makes
And
the
Corey
call.
is all in, and Matt quickly makes the call. Matt's going to see he's in the lead.
Corey's gonna show Jack of
But you look at the
clubs.
percentages, 51-49. The turn card now is the king of diamonds.
And that's no help for Corey Z. He needs a jack, a 7, or a club on the river, or he's going to be eliminated.
A pot of almost 2 million chips. We go to the river card. It's the ace of clubs. And just like that, Corey Z is going to hang around. A big pot for him, and he's right back in this thing, Robert.
Yeah, that hurts when you have a big pair like that and 2 undercards beat you, but sometimes, you get outflopped. Sometimes you get rivered. This time, Corey Z rivered him.
Now, I got to be honest, this is the first time I've seen Matt Bond have any bad luck here at this final table, but it was due to happen. You're watching exclusive HPT action from the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. I want to thank Dominic Nero, the Poker Room manager, for having us back. We've been coming here since 2011. This is our 7th event. These guys do such a great job. They roll out the red carpet. I want to thank Dom as well as Amy Alvarez and the entire staff here at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room.
I'll tell you what an excellent restaurant they have as well. I ate several very fine meals there this week myself, James.
Folded around to Adi now on the button. Looks down at 8 deuce. Of course, he is on the button, and it's been folded around to him, so he's going to raise to 115,000. And now over to Corey in the 1 seat, who's got new life after that river card.
Audi taking a little too much aggression here. 8 deuce offsuit. Wow, but you know what, James? Every time you get away with that, you're still over 100,000 chips in blinds and antes.
We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III. Now, Robbie, we just learned that Matt and Adi are actually close friends. Have you ever squared off at the poker game against one of your buddies?
There's no buddies or friends at the table. I can always beat them and give their money back or buy them a drink a little later on.
It's pretty cold, my friend, pretty cold.
And the leaderboard looks like this. Corey Thompson, our new chip leader once again. Matt Bond sliding back. Corey Z making a move.
6 players remain right now. The cash for 6th place, just over 22,000. Up top, though, that's the real money, almost 132,000. Second place, not too shabby, $81,326. And third place money, just over $54K. So a lot of cash down here in the beautiful state of Florida that we're giving out tonight, right here on the HPT.
Adi folds over to Corey in the 1 seat.
Action is folded around to the 1 seat of Corey. That's Corey Z, not to be confused with Corey T. He's going to fold his hand. So now over to Matt in the small blind with 8-7. The man of mystery, Matt Bond. Running well here at this HPT final table. He's going to make the call.
And see, I don't mind limping in the small blind. Why not play a pot with the big blind without raising it and getting chips put in the middle out of position?
Option now to Plumman in the big blind. And Robert, I think we're actually going to see it tonight. Plumman is going to play a hand here on the HBT on national television.
He's forced to, James. He's in the big blind and nobody raised.
He's got queen tray of clubs, so heads up here. Small blind, big blind.
All right, let's see the flop.
The flop is a 5 and 2 4s with 2 clubs.
Well, that gives Plumman a flush draw, but Matt's got a gut shot with 2 overcards still.
Matt's going to bet 60,000.
60,000 is the bet by Matt.
Action over to Plumman.
60,000 action.
Well, with the pair on the board, I don't play these flush draws too aggressive. I definitely would make this call, but I don't think I'd raise.
Plumman is 33 years old, originally from Bulgaria. He now lives here in Florida. He's got over 77,000 in lifetime earnings. His plans for the cash, he wants to parlay it into a super high roller buy-in.
And Plumman does make that call.
And now look at this.
And he's going to like that
Yeah,
turn.
he was rewarded for making that call. Now the queen of spades comes off on the turn, so Plumman goes in the lead now.
Well, Plumman was actually still in the lead to begin with, but now he's really dominating Matt's hand.
And we go to the river card now. And the river card is the deuce of hearts.
Well, it looks like Matt's decided to minimize the damage, maybe check this down, try to not lose any more chips in this pot. Well, that way he's thinking, James, I might be wrong. He might be thinking about bluffing at this.
Matt is going to check.
Well, Plumman's got to make a value bet here. I don't think he can get paid off no matter what he bets, but he's got to make a value bet here.
Plumman is reaching for chips. He's going to bet 100,000. Action back now to Matt Bond. And Matt's obviously going to put these cards directly into the muck. Unless he decides to get a little tricky here and do a big raise, but I just don't see that happening. But maybe I'm wrong.
Looks like Matt is going to make a play at this pot.
Wow. I was way off. He's going to raise to 315,000. We'll see if it works.
Well, the reason why that happened just now is Plumman checked the turn when the queen came, and now Matt thinks that Plumman's weak. But Plumman's not weak, and Matt's going to find out the hard way that he does not have the winning hand.
And Plumman is going to play his first hand tonight, and he's going to win his first hand tonight. A pot of 880,000 chips.
Well, 1 for 1's a pretty good average, James.
Not too bad at all, Robert. Action continues here from the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. I'm James Larson, joined by Robert Williamson III. Big hand here for Matt. Looks down at ace-king.
Well, especially because Matt's been mixing it up. You want to catch these big hands when you've already been playing a lot of hands. Then it looks like you might be out there on a limb.
And now Plumman looks down at ace-jack, another playable hand here. Just 6 players remain at this nationally televised final table.
Well, we went from Plumman not playing one hand to now he's played 2 pots in a row, James.
Well, he's 100% so far. We'll see if he can keep that streak up. And now look at this. Action. Jackson. Pocket queens for Adi.
Wow. He's got to like that. I'd be very aggressive with these. Already got a raise and a caller. I'm probably going to do what he did. I'm going to move all in.
Boy, we're going to see some fireworks here in this hand. That's an all-in. And now an ace-5 here for the 1 seat of Corey Z. He's going to fold. He folds an ace.
Well,
now over to Matt Bond.
If I'm Matt, I have to push all in here because I don't want Plumman calling behind me weak.
Action on Matt Bond. He's behind, but we've seen how he's been running all night. That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, of course, when you've been catching, you kind of think you're just going to always catch, James. But now we know 2 aces have been eliminated. So he's got a few less outs than he thinks he has.
And Plumman gets out of the way, so it's heads up, ace-king against pocket queens. And look at that, Robbie.
Of course, that doesn't slow him down any. This is Matt Bond, folks. Flopping top pair. Adi's got to be sick inside right now.
King, 10, deuce, couple of hearts. These two are buddies, Adi and Matt. The turn card now another heart, this time the 4 of hearts.
Well, only a queen can save the day for Adi. There's 2 of them left in the deck or else he's going out.
A pot of over 2 million chips. We go to the river card. It's the 4 of spades. And that is going to do it. One friend knocks out the other as Adi is our 6th place finisher, earning himself just over $22,000. We had asked Adi about playing with his buddy Matt at the final table, and here's what he had to say.
My buddy Matt Bond, he's been doing pretty well in the HBT tournaments. This is his 3rd consecutive back-to-back final table, which is, I don't know if it's ever happened in the history of HPT. I thought it's pretty cool. And we started day 2 with a good amount of chips. I have 200 something. He was second in chips. And we were talking about it. We wanted to both make the final table together, and we did. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, James, I don't think there's any damage to that friendship. It looked like after the hand was over, they hugged it out.
Well, we've seen some great poker on tonight's episode, and next week we'll have the conclusion as our final 5 players will sit down and we'll find out who our new HPT champion will be. And that champion's going to go home with the bracelet, the cash, and most importantly, the bragging rights as our next HPT champion. For Robert Williamson III, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time on the HPT.